Sunny afternoon, beautiful day, May, beginning of May. Wow. I don't think it gets any better than this, does it? Get back, relaxing, having a beer. Oh, hey, sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just enthralled in my own environment here. I was relaxing, having a beer here outside, enjoying the wonderful weather. What more can you ask for, right? Who wants to be inside playing games? What's that? Oh, you want me to make you a video? Oh, well, I just made you one a couple weeks ago. You know, the PAX rant? No? It wasn't your thing? You don't like rants? No? Okay, well, how about that DVD collection video I did a couple months ago? No? No, you didn't like that either because this is supposed to be a gaming channel. Okay, I forgive you for that. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But come on, guys, look at it outside. You can't expect me to go inside and play games on a day like today, can you? Do you know how hard it is to actually come up with a real good idea for you guys? Like, just a real good idea that, you know, hasn't been done. I like to be unique, right? Come up with something else that other people aren't doing. Like that Alice video. That was a high production video. It was real tough to do. I think I pulled it off well. Okay, you're not buying it, are you guys? Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, well, you're interrupting my relaxation time, but you know what? I might just have an idea for you, okay? I know this isn't a Rolling Rock, but you know what? Let's go inside. I might have an idea for you. You know, I hope you like it. It's not much. I was sitting back relaxing and I thought about it. So maybe you'll like it. Why don't we go inside and check it out? And yeah. Hello guys, alright, well here we are inside, right in front of the TV. We got our Xbox controller here all ready to go. And like I said, we're going to do a video game related video for once. So, it's not much, like I said, you know, don't get your hopes up too much. It's not that exciting, but you know, some of you might like it. Because a lot of you people do like these kind of videos here. I'll let you know what we're going to do here. If you've been a subscriber to this channel for a while, you may know one of my very first videos, either video 2, 3, or 4, was me actually showcasing my collection. You know, my Super NES collection, my NES collection, Sega, PS1 games, stuff like that. I guess that's usually how a channel starts out, right? People like to show off their collection and video, and for some reason, people like to watch it. So yeah, this is kind of just a continuation in that series. I noticed that I never really touched on Xbox games, or at least Xbox 360 games. And actually, you know what? There's a reason for that. I have like 4 retail games. So yeah, the amount of games that I actually have aren't worth sitting down and actually showing you, because there's only like 4 of them. But then I actually thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I actually have a pretty decent sized XBLA collection though. I have actually 43 games. Well, some of them are trials, right, or demos, whatever you want to call them. So those don't really count, but I have at least like a good 30, 35 XBLA full version games here. And I was thinking, like, you know what? I've never really showcased my games here. Like, and I'm a huge XBLA fan. Like, I love the arcade games so much. It's basically the only kind of games I play now. Just to let you know, I bought a 360 specifically for XBLA. The game that I bought it for is actually embarrassing. I'll tell it to you anyway. Actually, no, I'll get to it. You know, I'll actually show you which one, because this is what we're doing today. We're actually going to be going through my XBLA games. I'm going to go through my collection here. 43 games here. We're going to go through them all. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. I'm going to try to keep it short, but you know, when I say keep it short, you know what happens, right? I end up rambling for 20 minutes. So hopefully this video doesn't take that. I've already rambled for 2 minutes straight about the intro here. So yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go through my XBLA games, Xbox Live Arcade games, and just show you what I have in my collection, because I love arcade games. To be honest with you, I like them way better than the retail games. So let's take a look. Okay, so Alien Hominoid HD. This is actually just a demo, so it's not a full version. I think it's okay. Assault Heroes. I have no idea what this is or how it got on here, but I think it's another demo. At least I think it is. I don't know. Moving along, Awesome Knots. Okay, so Awesome Knots is my first full version game here on my list, and this game is actually, for lack of better terms, awesome. This game is actually quite spectacular here. If you haven't heard of Awesome Knots, you really should check it out. It's a MOBA, which is a massive online battle arena, which features basically 2 teams of 3 against each other. You have a wide variety of different classes of characters and different skills that you can upgrade, and you pit yourselves against another team, and it's really cool. And you have to go and destroy their base. Well, you have to conquer their base, destroy their turrets, and you team up against a few other people online. You can do local as well. It's a real fun game, very strategic kind of game, like an RPG turn-based strategic kind of game. I think it's really cool. The only downside to this game is the developer has not given a whole lot of love to the Xbox Live version, or actually the PS version as well. The home console versions, I should say, they are only focusing on the PC version of this game, giving it downloadable content, new characters, new maps, and stuff like that. And that's a little disappointing because I really like this game, and I wish they would have updated the Xbox version as well. Moving along here, Battle Block Theater. This is another really awesome game. I haven't played too much of it here. I got it a couple weeks ago. I was really sick when I got it here. I had like a real bad flu, so I played it for a couple hours one day with my girlfriend. We played co-op. It was a real fun game from what I played. It's from the makers of Castle Crashers. I'm sure you guys all know that. The Behemoth, you may or may not know. Come on, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock. But Castle Crashers is a spectacular game, and they made this game too. It's a real fun co-op game. You can even play 4-player arena modes as well. I haven't played too much of that, but I'm looking forward to having some friends over and playing some more 4-player Battle Block Theater. Next, we have Bomberman Live Battle Fest. Now, this game here is just the generic Bomberman game. I don't really have much to say about it. You've played one Bomberman game, you've played them all. I think it was on sale and I bought it, or maybe it wasn't even on sale and I just kind of thought, Bomberman, you can't go wrong, but it's nothing special. Okay, moving right along here, Castle Crashers. Now, this is what I was just talking about just a minute ago. Castle Crashers is a spectacular 2D side-scrolling kind of beat-em-up. It doesn't get any better than this. This is one of the best beat-em-ups of the 2000s, easily, of the last 5 years, 10 years. This game's only come out in the last few years, but really, really good adaptation. Sit around with some friends, local or online, and just beat the crap out of, medieval enemies, and it's really fun. I would have liked the full-blown version sequel of this rather than like Battle Block Theater, but Battle Block Theater is nice too in its own way. But Castle Crashers 2, still waiting for that. Spectacular game. Double Dragon Neon. You know what? I was very surprised with this game. I was a little skeptical at first about it, but I took the plunge and I got it. I didn't take a demo beforehand. I just bought it and I fell in love with it right away. It's the soundtrack is spectacular. It's got this rock and roll 80s kind of rock vibe to it. Like a hair metal kind of soundtrack. It's really cool. I love the soundtrack to this. The whole game is just completely 80s. That's why it's called Double Dragon Neon. They were going for that kind of a theme, but it's a real good co-op game. I don't think you can do online, which is unfortunate, but local co-op, grab a buddy, sit on the couch, and just battle your way through I think 9 areas with Skullmageddon. He's the new enemy, taking over the Shadow boss. What is that guy's name? Shadow Warrior? I don't even remember. But yeah, we got Skullmageddon now. He's the new enemy, taking your girlfriend Marion, and you got to get her back. And it's a real wild ride through the streets, and you even go to space, and it's a real cool game. I enjoyed it a lot. Well done. Well done. Way Forward, they make it. Way Forward is a great company right now, so well done. Dungeon Fighter Live, don't have anything to say about this. Thumbs down, that's what I have to say about it, unfortunately. I thought this was something else, actually, before buying it. I honestly thought it was Dungeons and Dragons. That's what I thought it was, that arcade game. The one that's coming out this June. That game looks really good. The arcade port coming to XBLA and PSN. Actually, I thought this is what this was when I first bought it. So this I didn't like. You actually need an online to play, and I can't even get. I don't understand it. It's stupid. I don't even want to talk about it. This is another demo, Dust, an Elysian Tale. I played it just for the first time the other day. I had it kicking around for a while, but I actually thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't mind actually getting a full version. It was pretty darn good. Heard good things about it. Earthworm Jim, the HD remake. This came out in, I think, 2009. Complete revamped HD remake of the original game with updated graphics. A few more things were updated as well. A couple new levels, keyboard cat, a couple other goofy things. I thought this was a real good HD remake. I would love more games from the 90s to be remade like this. I don't think it did that well though, so which is kind of unfortunate because I thought it was a beautiful remake of an old classic 90s game, and I would like to see more done in that style. Final Fight Double Impact. It's another game I have here. I don't have much to say about it. Final Fight. Yeah, I don't know. Classic beat 'em up. Game Room. This is crap. I don't suggest anyone buying this. I totally now am stuck with 15 out of 56 gamer score here because I'm not going to invest the money or time in this. It's just nonsense. Geometry Wars. This is just another demo. It's kind of a little shooter, kind of shoot 'em up, kind of geometry space. I don't know. It's kind of neat. I wouldn't buy the full version though. Golden Axe. This is a full version that I have of this game. This is a classic 80s game, 80s 90s arcade game. Golden Axe for Sega. You know, it's like a quick 400 Microsoft points or whatever. It was a little fun. Don't really have much to say about that. Guardian Heroes. I don't think I have much else to say about this either, other than it was a blind buy. I think it was from the Sega Saturn era? Sega CD? Sega Saturn? Something like that. No. Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast. I think this game was originally on the Dreamcast. And I didn't really get into a Dreamcast that much, but I frequent some game sites a lot, and they hyped this game up, and they were like, Guardian Heroes coming out on XBLA, you gotta get it! Classic beat 'em up action! And I got it, and you know, I completed it. Got 12 out of 12, 200 out of 200 gamer score, but it was okay. I wouldn't go back to it. I wouldn't play it again. Contra Hardcore Uprising. This game is spectacular. Holy smokes. Actually, if you watch this video, or my channel, I should say, you would know that I've done a video on this, or video review of this game probably a year and a half ago. And I don't think I have anything bad to say about it. It was a great game. I love the Contra series. This was a spectacular entry into the Contra series. It was done by Konami. I praise them all the way. I love this game. Local and online co-op multiplayer. Great run and gun shooter. I don't know what else to say other than I hope they make a sequel. Harm's Way. This was some random game that was free, I think. I downloaded it. I don't know. It was from like some developer, and he was trying to win a game or a spot or in like new developers. I don't. Some silly game here. Hell yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit. I was a little disappointed with this game. I thought it was going to be way better. Unfortunately, it had a very Earthworm Jim feel to it. When I saw the trailer, it was kind of wacky, and it just had that goofy feel and like the kind of HD kind of beautiful, weird graphics and the crazy characters and stuff. It was just kind of... It caught my eye, but unfortunately it didn't catch my attention span playing the game. I played it for a couple hours, but lost interest, unfortunately. So, moving right along, we have a lot to get through. I'm sorry, this is going to be a 20-minute video. I hope you like long videos. Hexic. I think that's how you say that. Hexic. This is a free game with the Xbox when you purchase it. It's an okay game. It's kind of like Tetris, kind of like a shape game where the columns and the shapes fall down, and you have to like rotate them and match it up and do a bunch of silly stuff. It's kind of addicting, but yeah. Jeopardy. This is not an XBLA game. This is actually one of the few art retail games I actually own, believe it or not. Yes, Jeopardy of all things. Yeah, it's currently in the system right now. That's why it's showing up here. So. Limbo. I did not actually download this myself, believe it or not. This was downloaded by Dan. You may or may not know Dan from F and Dan. Yeah, he back when I lived with him, we didn't have separate Xboxes. I just had one, and this was before I knew about creating profiles, and I was just kind of I didn't care. I was just like, whatever. And he bought this game, and I just had my profile on, just, you know, log in right away. No password, you just boot up the Xbox and you start playing. And he purchased this, I guess, himself. And he really liked it. I did not. I don't really care for this game that much, to be honest with you. It's not my kind of thing. So it's very critically acclaimed. A lot of people like it, a lot, but I didn't really care for it, to be honest with you. Not my thing. Moondiver. Meh. This is another one of those games that I thought was going to be better when I first bought it. You know, reading some websites and getting a little hyped up for the game and going out and blind buying it. I did complete it 100%. It took me a goddamn long time. There's one achievement that sucked. It was get all your characters to level 50, and holy Christ, I think that took 3 months of just farming, just hitting and leveling up, and it was just a pain in the ass to get that achievement. I love my achievements here. I like going for my achievements. I'm kind of an achievement hunter, so I try to get as many as I can. I kind of grind and get those hard achievements. Some of them are just brutally too hard that I just leave out, but Moondiver, I spent a couple months on this game. It's okay. Kind of a action-adventure, side-scrolling RPG, beat-em-up, 4-player online and offline co-op. It's okay. Pac-Man, I don't know how this got on here. I think it's another free game from the system. Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds. Okay, this wasn't bad. This was another blind buy recently. It came out not too long ago, about a month ago. I thought the animation style looked awesome, like totally like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. That is coming up. Unfortunately, I have to talk about Scott Pilgrim before the actual game comes up, but Scott Pilgrim was an amazing game. It had some of the best mechanics in a game that I've ever seen. There's a review of it on this channel as well. Me and Dan love that game. The movie is great. The tie-in is great to the movie. The game is just throws me back to the SNES days, the Super NES days, when you're just beat 'em ups, random beat 'em ups. The game has a very River City Ransom feel to it, where you're actually upgrading, and then, you know, you're getting money, you're beating people up on the street, you're collecting like money, and the money is actually in the form of like toonies and loonies, which is Canadian coin, because the game's supposed to be based out of Toronto. But anyway, I'm getting too ahead of myself with Scott Pilgrim. This game has a very, very, very Scott Pilgrim feel to it. The animation was almost identical to it. The gameplay was almost identical. 4 players, beat 'em up, kind of hack and slash, get a bunch of coins, and, you know, upgrade your character. Exactly. Exactly almost the same to Scott Pilgrim. So I enjoyed it. 29 out of 30 achievements there. 1 left. Kind of a tough one to get, but it was a good game. I enjoyed myself with this game. I think it was worth the money. If you do like Scott Pilgrim, I suggest this game. Retro City Rampage. Wow, this was a really cool game. I waited a very long time for this game. The XBLA version was delayed due to licensing issues or certification issues. That's what it was. The guy that makes this game is actually from Vancouver as well. I saw him at the Retro Gaming Expo in Vancouver, and he was talking about this game, the very first Retro Gaming Expo, before this game even came out, and he showed us clips of it when it was in the making, and it just looked so kick-ass. It's a very, it's like a parody game of all the 80s franchises rolled into one, like Back to the Future, Turtles, Ninja Turtles, Mega Man, Contra, just there's so many different references in this game, and it's all Grand Theft Auto, kind of like. Think of Grand Theft Auto meets 8-bit NES games. It's hilarious. Check it out. Very fun game. The references from the NES days are just off the wall. There's so many of them. There's the Ghostbusters firehouse or car, and the Turtle Van, and Back to the Future DeLorean, and oh, it's hilarious. Oh, you could even find a LARPing sword, like inside a cave, like Legend of Zelda style, a shield and a LARPing sword. You go into a cave and the guy is like, "Take this with you." It's hilarious. Check it out. I recommend it. Okay, what do we got next? We have, pardon me, throat's getting a little dry here. I've been talking so long here. Sacred Citadel. I actually have not really tried this yet. I know it says a 1 out of 35 gamer score. I just kind of popped it in just to take a quick peek. A couple weeks ago we had a big party, and I was like, "Oh, Sacred Citadel! I want to download this and people can play." But we ended up doing other stuff instead of actually playing games. So I wanted to try this one out. It's kind of like a beat 'em up, kind of like medieval ages. I think it looks okay. I hope I'm not going to be disappointed with it. The reviews and ratings a little low, unfortunately, but if I think it's kind of like King of Dragons for the SNES. I think that's the kind of feel I get for it. King of the Dragons meets what's that shitty game name? Oh, Shoot Many Robots. This game is a piece of shit. The animation looks like Shoot Many Robots, unfortunately. It's just kind of like a clayish kind of, I don't know, but I'm gonna wait to play this one until I have an actual group of a few people with me, because it's best played with at least 3 people. So, speaking of 3 people, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, great multiplayer game, awesome multiplayer game. They've recently just done online co-op, unless I don't even think they've done the patch for it yet, but it's supposed to be in the works. 4-player local couch co-op right now, and I've already talked about how great this game was just a minute ago, so I'm not gonna bore you by talking about how amazing this is again, but this is probably my favorite game out of the all my Xbox Live games here. This one is probably the best. I'd say this is my #1 pick. Shoot Many Robots, biggest piece of shit in the world. I'm not even going to talk about it. Scene Mora, I don't know how to say that. This is just a demo, kind of a little ship shooter, like a little do 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 do. It's really hard actually, and this is the demo, and I actually enjoyed it, but I wouldn't pay full price for it, unfortunately. Because I think they were trying to get like 15 or 20 bucks out of it, and I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. I'll wait for it to go on sale. It's cool, shoot 'em up. Hard game, too. Sonic and Knuckles. Yeah, original Sonic and Knuckles, re-download. Don't know what else to tell you about that. I'm sorry, we're hitting 20 minutes now. I don't want to bore you too much. We got to get through these. Unless you're enjoying yourselves. Yeah, maybe you are. Sonic 4, Episode 1. I'm sorry, I really need a glass of water. What should I say about Sonic 4 Episode 1? That's a good question. It was an okay game. Yeah, it was decent. I had fun with it. You know, the reviews of it were pretty bad, but I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was too bad. I never played Episode 2, though. I didn't really care to go into it. Episode 4, yeah, I don't really... It wasn't that memorable, but... It wasn't that bad. I'd say it's on par with like Sonic 2. You know, after Sonic 2, like games were just terrible. Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, those games were kind of ho-hum. This one was actually a pretty good, back to the original franchise. Spelunky. This is kind of a fun little game here. It's kind of like a Meat Boy kind of game. Really randomly generated worlds. No 2 worlds are the same. Every level is different. When you die, it's just a brand new world. You spawn, and you gotta get to the end. You gotta collect these princesses and bring them to the end. And it's kind of a difficult game. Like, it's really very strategic, very, you gotta have a lot of good skills to play this game. It's one-hit kills, basically. You know, like, you fall down too far and you're gonna die. Snake poisons you, Ghost hits you. Like, it's kind of an interesting game. It's tough. But tough games aren't necessarily bad, right? Explosion Man. This is another game that I never downloaded onto my Xbox here. This is from Dan. I don't really care about this game. It's kind of crap. Streets of Rage 2. You can never go wrong with classic beat-em-up arcade action from the Sega Genesis days. Super Contra, another classic. Don't know what else to say about it. Super Contra, classic game. So, now we got Super Meat Boy. And let me tell you about Super Meat Boy. Spectacular game. It's another spectacular game. I love this game. Very hard game. It's one of those games when you're... it's very kind of doing something over and over and over again. You really rely on your skill with this kind of game. Like, you gotta... Actually, no, pardon me. You don't really rely on your skill. You kind of more so rely on your memory. It's kind of like a Battletoads kind of game. It's very fast, very... fast-paced. You need good reflexes, memorization. It's a lot of like trial and error. That's the best way to describe it. A trial and error game. I love this game so much. I've played it hours upon ends, just massacring myself. It's just so good. Like, you could do like one level for like 200 times in a row, just like just killing yourself over and over and over, not on purpose, to actually try and beat the level. It's so addicting. It's just I love this game. Probably one of my number 2 games on my XBLA list here. Oh, this is another good one too. Wow. Street Fighter 2 HD Remix. This is a beautifully redone game. Remember we were talking about HD remixes or remakes with Earthworm Jim, and I want to see more games from the 90s done kind of in the HD style. This is a really good game. I like Street Fighter just as much as anyone else. Especially Ravi. Holy smokes, that guy loves Street Fighter. He's obsessed with Street Fighter. Yeah, every time that guy comes over, oh, he's always like, Street Fighter, Street Fighter, Street Fighter, can we play Street Fighter? Seriously? He loves Street Fighter so much. It is a good game, actually, you know. It's not an amazing game, but it is one of the top games out there, you know, within the top 20 of video games, probably, history. Street Fighter 2 isn't that bad of a game. Toe Jam and Earl. This is another Sega vintage classic, redone. Toe Jam and Earl 1 and 2 together. I love Toe Jam and Earl. It's one of my favorite Sega Genesis games from the early 90s. And I decided to buy it on XBLA. Why the hell not, right? I already have a cartridge version, but you can never have enough Toe Jam and Earl, can you? And I bought it for the achievements, of course. The Simpsons arcade game. Wow, as anyone growing up in the 90s definitely remembers playing this game here, actually alongside the next one as well, TMNT 1989 Classic Arcade. These two were the epitome of arcade games growing up. Like if you were growing up in the 90s and you would visit an arcade, there was a chance that you had either played one or the other of these games. The Simpsons arcade game or the classic Ninja Turtles arcade game. These were pure quarter-sucking games. They were at like every single diner, arcade, truck stop, bus stop, washing machine, dryer outlet, whatever you could imagine. These games were there. If anywhere that there was a plug and a video game outlet, these were games there. And fans waited so long to have them ported into a home console, especially The Simpsons. This one just came out last year. First time being ported ever to a home console, and it was received very well. A lot of people downloaded it. They loved it. It's okay, you know. It's kind of a button mashing game. When you have unlimited lives, it kind of defeats the purpose. But the thing about this game is it actually set up. There's a feature that you could set the amount of lives, kind of a survival mode. It gives you, I think, 40 lives. It's still quite a bit. You could still beat the game no problem, but it's fun to have a little bit of a challenge like that. Turtles Classic Arcade here. This one is another really awesome game here. One of my favorites growing up of all time. It was ported to the NES in '89, I believe it was, 90, but that was an inferior port. I mean, the limitations on the NES compared to the video card on an arcade machine is just, you know, nonsense. You know, they had to scale down the Turtles to like 8-bit, and they had to, yeah, you know, they were extremely limited on what they could do. Like the sound chip was garbage, and you could only have 2 players. You couldn't have 4. But at the time, you know, it was the next best thing we had growing up as kids. When you wanted to play any Ninja Turtles at home instead of going to the arcades, it was fun. You know, I don't doubt me. I'm not gonna rag on it. It was a fun little game there, the 8-bit version. But this one here is the epitome of beat 'em ups. This is just one of the best beat 'em ups of all time. Turtles Arcade Classic. Yeah, only beef is, I don't really have much of a beef. I wish they didn't take it off the market. This is gone. Off the market now. If you don't have it now, you don't get it anymore. Moving right along, Turtles in Time Reshelled. What can I say about this game? Rubbish? Thumbs down? Junk? I know. Biggest Turtles fan in the world, and I'm knocking on a game. But, I don't know, it just didn't have the same feel to it. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It just absolutely doesn't. Turtles in Time, I'm sorry. I know I said this was the best beat 'em up of all time, but this is the best beat 'em up of absolute all time. Not this one here, but the arcade version. It was ported to the Super NES in 1992, I believe. And that was a very strong port. They added a few levels, like the Technodrome levels, different bosses. It was a very strong port. The only gripe I have about that port is it wasn't 4 players. You know, they had the multi-tap available. I don't know if it came. I think multi-tap came out in '94 or '96. So, but I wish they incorporated like 4-player multi-tap into that Super NES game. That would have been absolutely amazing. Just absolutely amazing. I mean, this one, Turtles in Time Reshelled, it's just a plugh. Hong Fong Fooey bullshit, crap in a hat bullshit junk, half-assed money-making port. I don't know what else to say. It's, I don't know. They rushed it out. They should have just ported the arcade version. I think a lot of fans actually would have rather had just the arcade version ported. Just a direct port, 4 players, you know, maybe limit the lives to, like, you know, get a certain amount of lives, just how they did with Simpsons and how you can do Xbox Live on the classic arcade, 20 lives, I think. You're limited to 20 lives. So what they should have done. Straight port from the arcade, kept the 16-bit graphics, 4-player port, achievements, bing, bang, boom, done. This game would have sold millions. It would have been just one of the best selling games of all time, I bet. And Reshelled was lackluster. For a lack of a better term, it was junk. It really was. I don't know what else to say other than I hope the new games are going to be better. But they got a new game coming out of the shadows, coming out this summer. I'm a little skeptical, you know. I don't know. Ubisoft, at least they don't have the rights to the Turtles anymore, because Ubisoft just screwed them up hardcore. But anyway, moving right along here. What the? This is a free download, I think, or maybe it cost me like $1. In the indie section of this Xbox Live indie games, it was like 40 Microsoft points for like half $1, 50 cents for $1. It's kind of a game show game. It's okay. I mean, it's what it is. It's what you expect for like 50 cents or $1. It's kind of a cheap game show kind of game. Like, not like You Don't Know Jack. It doesn't have like the caliber of You Don't Know Jack. It's like You Don't Know Jack Mini. It's kind of goofy, but it's okay to play if you got a few drunken buddies around and you want to play a little game. And finally, we have X-Men, the X-Men arcade. So we were talking about earlier. We were talking about arcades in the '90s and how those two were the epitome of arcades in every single movie theater and truck stop and whatnot. Simpsons and Turtles. X-Men was one of those games as well that was fairly available quite frequently. It was pretty easy to come by. X-Men was a big game as well in the '90s, and rightfully so. This is a very good arcade game as well. The 6-person cabinet was just one of those massive monsters there. You could play 6 people all at once, and it was pretty awesome. Yeah, X-Men. I don't know what else to tell you other than this was a good port. The Xbox Live version, it doesn't really live up to the game as much as I thought it did. It's kind of a button mashing beat 'em up. You know, you get what you get, and you got infinity lives. You die, you hit the button. You die, you hit the button. I hate that. I like when they actually set your lives. You can have like a survival mode. They have a certain amount of lives for the team or a certain amount of lives per person, and I just don't like it how you can just die and hit the button, die and hit the button, die and hit the button. There's no challenge in that, right? You should have a different mode, survival mode, free play mode, stuff like that with these kind of games. So there we go, folks. Those are my Xbox Live arcade games. That's my collection. Thanks for sticking with me. I know this is an extremely long video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the commentary and the video and the games and my feelings and thoughts about everything. So just to reiterate here, if I had to choose a top 5 on my list here, Turtles arcade game would be on there. Super Meat Boy would be on there. That's 2. Scott Pilgrim would be on there. That's 3. Scott Pilgrim for sure. Retro City Rampage would probably be on there. That's 4. Contra Hardcore Uprising. That is 5. Actually, there's a few more good mentions here. Castle Crashers 6. Double Dragon Neon 7. And Awesome Knots 8. So there we go. Those are probably my top 8 out of all the games, all 343 titles here. All 43 titles. Those are the top 8 that I would say are the best ones on Xbox Live currently. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I know it's been a long video. I appreciate if you've stuck it through here to listen to me talk about my games. So yeah, until next time, guys, have yourselves a great week, great weekend, a great summer. Hopefully I'll be doing another video sooner rather than later. And it won't be something stupid. But yeah, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.